You were talking about how there will be N32 whose air might is also going to be on display at the IAF show. Other than that, you just spoke about the night landings by Rafale jets. All of this very, very important and strategic by India, speaks about the kind of technological prowess that India has achieved as far as Air Force is concerned. Just take us through more, and how is this also going to further deter Pakistan on whatever it's trying with, even this exercise Hammer strike that Asim Munir is in fact trying to project Pakistan to carry?
Oh, this exercise is giving a larger message, Greha. You see, while it is not an ordinary thing, one has to understand the timing as well, the critical timing. This is somewhere showing the readiness and, the sort of capability that Indian Air Force has today. In fact, at such a time when, from last 7 to 8 days, we are seeing messages. In fact, we are hearing to the sort of statements from Pakistan, and at a time when they are conducting several sort of exercises. In fact, at least 3 air exercises, have been conducted by Pakistan at this point in time, starting from 29th of April, where they have been, in fact, saying that, India, is going to take military action against us. At that time, this particular exercise is very, very crucial. We know the kind of, aircraft we have, the fighter jets we have. We have, several sort of squadrons of Su-30 MKI, Rafale, Mirage 2000 and other fighter aircraft. But even then, there are bases which are, exposed to almost everyone. Today in open source, you have information about your air bases, you have information about your runways. Satellite images are available where one can identify that this is the runway, this is the exact length of the runway, and the enemy and the adversary can take advantage of it. At such a time, when you have your runways exposed, you can actually utilize these sort of highways. You have your mobile vans available, you have your temporary ATC station available here, you have your temporary ground support available here, and within no time, you can in fact utilize it. In fact, Greha, I can see some movement here. In some time from now, now we are expecting, in fact, AN-32 to come. And other than AN-32, we have other fighter aircraft as well. In fact, Mi-17 would be coming, and we would be seeing the slithering today. We have several sort of students, hundreds of students, in fact, who have gathered here to see this particular exercise. This is one remote area in Shahjahanpur where we have the locals, in fact, residents who have come here to see this particular show. I'm showing you the visuals as of now where, in fact, my camera person Arjun is giving you the sense of, what is the kind of gathering here where you are seeing these individuals. These are school children who have come here, who have gathered here since morning and are excited enough to see this sort of exercise where we have these fighter jets, coming and, carrying out these sort of operations, where we have these helicopters, showing the slithering operation, and in fact, the transfer aircraft that is in fact going to land in some time from now. Greha.
Absolutely. Stay with me. Akash, this is Akanksha joining in for all our viewers who are tuning in. This is IAF's major show of air power, as we are bringing you those live visuals coming in straight from the Ganga Expressway. Joining me live on the broadcast is, of course, very much Akash, who's bringing you those live visuals. Also, Major General A.K. Sivach joining me live from the studios of CNN News 18. Thank you, Major General, for joining in. I want to bring you in, or begin rather, by asking about how far has India come in leveraging the air power. We've seen how Israel has used aerial bombardment in Gaza. We've seen how Turkey has used its own aerial power in bombarding Syrians. We've seen how similar war conflicts have played out in Ukraine when Russia has used its own air power. Is India prepared to do a similar kind of its own show of strength if it were to respond?
Absolutely. Akansha, see, one thing is there that India has a very strong air power. We are the 4th largest military power, which incur even your air force. Now, as far as our fighter aircrafts are concerned, our, we have got an edge now after induction of 2 Squadron Rafale, which is 4.5 generation. We have Sukhoi 30 MKI, we have Mirage 2000, we have MiG-29, we have Jaguar, we have Apache attack Raptor, and as far as the your basically transport aircraft are concerned, C-17 Globemaster, C-13J Hercules, and we have a Chinook helicopter also. Now, having said so, I can only say, as far as your fighting capability concerned, the Indian Air Force is far, far superior. What has changed after 2019? That's very important. You know, in 2019, when we have to strike on Balakot, which was 90 kilometers in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. So Mirage 2000 has to cross the international border oblique line of control. Now with this 4.5 generation Rafale with us, you don't need to cross. You have a scalp missile, which is air to ground 600 kilometers. You can hit any target, majority of the target, without crossing IB and international and line of control. So this is a tremendous. Then variety of firepower in Meteor, Mica, and then as on today the weapon system which India has are you can say has edge over Pakistan almost 5 to 6 times. So that is the time, and the way we are showcasing air power, we are trying to now build up a pressure, counter pressure on Pakistan, because Pakistan also trying to do some exercise. Because why they are doing exercise? Because they know it that something going to happen from India, and their morale is very low. There are stories which is saying that the number of families of the senior officers have already been left Pakistan. The desertion is taking place. They are not ready to fight, and hence General Asim Munir is trying to build up this thing, hammer strike exercise which they are conducting. But certainly their morale is really down. But what we have showcased our air power, and also utilizing all these highways, we have shown to the world that all our modern highways are runway. They can be used as a runway, and this adds on in case of war and emergency. In case your main runways are not able to be used, you can use all these highways. And night fighting capability.
You've actually raised a very, very critical point. I want to take that point forward with Akash. Akash, if you heard what Major General had to say, he's talked about how 2019 was a watershed moment for the Indian Air Force, especially after Balakot. That's also perhaps an explanation for why Pakistan is rattled and all those exercises are taking place. Where do we stand if you were to compare our own air arsenal with that of Pakistan? Akash.
Akanksha, I cannot hear you clearly, but I guess you are asking for some sort of comparison between the Pakistani Air Force and Indian Air Force. Akanksha, you see, there is no comparison, because as far as number of fighter aircraft, fighter jets are concerned, we are almost double of them. Number of squadron, and in fact the air defense, our air defense is very strong. We have got S-400, as the expert in the studio was mentioning, that how we had ordered in fact 5 squadrons, and in fact we have already received 3 and are very much deployed. Today at this point in time, when we talk about this sort of landing, Akanksha, the critical part is that with this particular airstrip, you can ensure 24/7 operation, air operations. With this particular, landing facility, you can land at night, you can land at, in the morning, in the afternoon, or at any time of your choice. When we talk about other airstrips within India, so not every airstrip has night landing facility, but here we have the, required lights, the required, things that are used for night landings, in fact. But you see, this is for the benefit of our viewers. When we compare, any military airfield or airstrip with this highway, or the airstrip in this particular highway, so there is a difference. Criticality is there. In fact, this is not so easy. It is in fact challenging for the pilot. In fact, because when you are, carrying out operations on such an airfield, you have to keep in mind that this is in between of the civilian population, in between of several sort of civilian structures that you have to take care of. Also, at this point in time, when we talk about this sort of landing, so you don't have any ALG support. Of course, there are mobile wings, and in fact the ATC support, that is a makeshift support system here on the highway itself. But then, comparing it with the sort of facility that we generally have in the military, airfield or the airbase, there is a huge difference. And there comes the capability of your pilot as well, the capability of the sort of staff that you have. And Indian Air Force has proven time and again that not just they can carry out operations within the boundaries, but also we have seen during Balakot as well that how they in fact crossed the border and destroyed the camps of Jaish and Lashkar.